Vice President Mike Pence made news over the weekend. Let's take a look at his Twitter feed here. He said, "I stand with President Trump. I stand with our soldiers, and I will always stand for our flag and our national anthem." So what's he referring to? Well, he explains there, "I left today's Colts game because President Trump and I will not dignify any event that disrespects our soldiers, our flag, or our national anthem. At a time when so many Americans are inspiring our nation with their courage, resolve, and resilience, now, more than ever, we should rally around our flag and everything that unites us. While everyone is entitled to their own opinions, I don't think it's too much to ask NFL players to respect the flag and our national anthem. I stand with President Trump. I stand with our soldiers, and I will always stand with our flag and our national anthem." You know how people on the far right always talk about how, little fucking virtue signalers on the left? This is like the definition of virtue signaling. Like meaningless fucking babble that you just sprinkle in some uber patriotic themes like, "I love our flag, it is amazing. Oh, I love our national anthem. It is the most beautiful song ever. I stand with our president. I'm so patriotic. I love Chuck Norris and Jesus and apple pie." So shut the fuck up with your hokey, cheesy, corny, over-the-top, silly, faux patriotism. Because that's what this is. There's so many responses to this. I mean, first of all, Donald Trump is the guy who's speaking about John McCain, and he's like, "Oh, he's a hero, right? Yeah, he's a hero because he's captured. I like people who weren't captured, okay?" Now, say what you want about John McCain. I'm not a big fan of John McCain in terms of his policies, but when he was captured, he said, I don't want to be released because his dad was powerful and they were going to release him. He goes, "I don't want to be released until everybody who's captured with me is released as well." Okay, that's why he's viewed as a hero. That's why he's called a fucking hero. And Trump, to make a shitty political point, "Oh, I like people who weren't captured." So now the guy who sided with the guy who was shitting on a prisoner of war and a war hero all of a sudden is like, "Oh, yeah, our troops. Oh my God, I love our troops so much," which is why I stayed with this fucking charlatan draft dodger. That's what Donald Trump is. I stayed with him while he shat all over our troops. Oh, come on, man. Mike, this is such bullshit. Fucking virtue signaling. And what'd you do? "I left the Colts game because some people kneeled for the anthem." Is that snowflakery I hear? Somebody sounds like they're triggered and they need a safe space from the microaggression. Now, don't get me wrong, Mike Pence has the free speech rights to leave, the free expression rights. "Oh, I'm going to make a point here and I'm going to leave." That's totally fine. But don't get it twisted. What he's doing here is the equivalent of when there's a right-wing speaker going to a college campus and then people protest that speaker and say, we don't want to have that person come. So in other words, I will use my First Amendment rights to try to take away the First Amendment rights of others. I will use my free expression and free speech to try to downplay the free speech and free expression of others. Doesn't seem like a very noble use of your rights now, is it? And then also, let's just keep it real here. They've successfully switched the conversation. And this happened from day one. You know, second they respond, "Oh, I guess you hate our flag and you hate our country." Well, no, if you fucking listen to what they're saying and you don't straw man them, they will be very straightforward with you and tell you, "No, this is about police brutality." Now, you don't even have to agree with them on the issue. You could say, "I have a different opinion than you do." Okay, but stop changing the conversation and stop pretending that's not what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. That's what they're doing. They're kneeling and, in essence, taking a stand to say, "I'm against police brutality and we need to do something to stop the killing of unarmed people of color in this country." That's what they're saying. That's what they've been saying all along. Whether it's, body cameras on cops and that's universal, or you have civilian review boards for the police, or you demilitarize the police, or you end the drug war. There's a million policies that can be done in order to address the issue that they're protesting. But now you've changed the conversation from that to, okay, let's pivot and do a non sequitur and say, "Oh, no, it's because you hate the flag and you hate our country. Yeah, that's what it's about." Jesus, man. You know what else would be a great way to honor our troops? Is if Trump wasn't threatening every 5.5 minutes to send them to war in North Korea. to do an offensive war in North Korea, which is what he's been clearly doing on Twitter for the past few months. And now he's started doing it like every other day. That's a good way to honor our troops. Hey, you know there's over 50,000 homeless veterans in the United States of America? Over 50,000 homeless veterans. They go and they fight in a war because assholes like Mike Pence send them to do that. And then they come back and what happened? Social safety net totally broken. And you got these people who fought for their country out on the streets. You want to support our troops? How about you address that? How about you allow our troops? You guys are against allowing the troops to have medical marijuana. The Republicans just voted that down. You want to support our troops? How about you do that? But you don't do it because you're virtue signaling snowflake bitches. All you want to do is, my idea of patriotism is you show deference to the flag. Yes, and you like our national anthem, and you praise Jesus. That's not real fucking patriotism. Hey, there's a fucking painted, colored piece of cloth that I'm going to worship. That's not real patriotism. In fact, dissent is the highest form of patriotism. People are protesting to try to make their country better. And what do? You take a stand against the people who are dissenting. And then, by the way, let's 100%, you just get this all out there on the table because this is the reality of it, and now subsequent stories have proven this. This was planned from the beginning. So he went there to go to the game and leave after 2 minutes. He did it on purpose. How do I know that? He told the press people, stay out here. So they were outside the stadium. He's like, stay out here. So in other words, yeah, I'm going to go in there, do this whole thing, do this whole photo op thing, plan it from the beginning, leave, pretend to be outraged, and then we'll talk about it. And then Trump goes on Twitter and said, I told Mike Pence to leave if they kneel for the anthem, and I'm proud of him that he did it. So this fucking, fake alpha male jackass is trying to take credit for this planned thing. And another point people pointed out is, what happened? I thought you guys were the party of fiscal responsibility, wasting money, dumb fucking Democrats wasting money. But how much did it cost for you to do your shitty little photo op here? How much did it cost in protection for the vice president? How much did it cost for the flight to get from D.C. to Indiana? How much did all this shit cost? You don't care about it. As long as you're making your own shitty political point, you don't care about it. They're just so comical, man. It's just such a cheesy thing where they try to score political points. They clearly have no clue how this is going to play out historically. How do people look at this shit 40 years from now? You look back and go, oh, look at what the fuck were they thinking? You got, people in the NFL protesting against police brutality and injustice. And the president of the United States and the vice president make a point of saying, fuck you. Shut the fuck up and worship our flag. And by the way, isn't it telling? The day before, they flipped out over peaceful, nonviolent NFL protests. What was going on in Charlottesville? The neo-Nazis are back. There was another gathering led by Richard Spencer. This one smaller, but like 30 or so neo-Nazis with their fucking torches. I didn't hear a word about the white supremacist protesters that were just out the night before from Mike Pence or Donald Trump. So weird, you have nothing to say about the white supremacist neo-Nazi protests, but you have a lot to say about the black guys kneeling against police brutality and injustice. That's strange, isn't it?